Let me tell you something. Have you ever been set up in a relationship where, well, this is the one? Well, this story is exactly about that. Two people who fall in love because, well, everybody knows them, they're the perfect fit. Who's making your relationship, them or you? Well, tonight you're about to hear the story about a couple the whole world thought they understood. And they thought that they understood the world and the world understood them, but nobody actually knew anybody. They were beautiful, talented, adored, and completely unprepared for the pressure that came with being everyone's fantasy. They didn't just date, they became a brand. And they didn't just fall in love, they fell into the spotlight and never turned it off. And here's a twist. I'm not telling you who they are. You're going to figure it out. Not yet, anyway. I want you to listen the way they met, the way they rose, and the way they broke. And I want you to see if you could figure out the truth before it ends. Because here's the thing, this isn't just a breakup story. This is a psychological autopsy for us to figure out. At least I know for you to figure out by listening about this relationship that was doomed from the moment the camera started rolling. So sit back and let's peel this thing apart together. There's a kind of love that doesn't just enter the world. You see, it erupts into it. A love that becomes a symbol, a headline, a fantasy, a projection screen for millions of strangers who swear they know the truth. Tonight, I want to tell you a story about a couple who met too young, rose too fast, and fell too hard. A couple who became the blueprint for a generation's idea of romance and heartbreak. But here's the catch. I'm not going to tell you their names, at least not yet. Instead, I want you to listen. Feel the rhythm of their rise. Notice the cracks in their foundation and see if you can figure out who they are before the end. Because this isn't just a love story. It's a psychological case study in fame, youth, pressure, and the cost of becoming someone else's fantasy. But before we do that, again, welcome to the Greg Stewart Show. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. It goes a long way. And now let's get into this story because it's unlike anything that we've done together thus far. You see, this part of the story is called Where Innocent Meets Spotlight. They met in a place where childhood dreams were manufactured like candy. A place where talent was polished, packaged, and sold to the world with a smile. They were kids, but not ordinary kids. They were performers, prodigies. Two bright lights orbiting the same stage, the same hallways, and going to the same rehearsals. He noticed her first, not because she was loud, but because she wasn't. She had this softness, a sweetness that didn't feel forced, a voice that sounded like it had lived 1,000 lives, and eyes that carried both innocence and ambition. Now he, on the other hand, has charisma, not only in his words, but in his motion. And that motion showed confidence. He was sharp, a natural leader, even before he knew what leadership meant. You see, they were friends before they were anything else. But even then, people around them whispered, they look good together. They're going to be something someday. And they were right, just not in the way anyone expected. And so the world falls in love with them, maybe even you listening now. Because as the years passed, they grew up. They grew into themselves, and then they grew into each other. Their reunion wasn't planned, it was fate, or at least it felt like it. Two rising stars, two careers exploding at the same time. Two young adults who have been trained to smile through everything, except the way they felt about each other. When they finally made it official, the world didn't just celebrate, it became obsessed. They became the golden couple, the fairy tale, the dream. Matching outfits, red carpets, interviews where they couldn't stop smiling at each other. They were young, beautiful, talented, and they fell in love. But here's the thing about being young and adored by millions. You don't get to grow privately. You see, you grow under a microscope. And microscopes don't just magnify beauty, they also magnify your flaws. They find cracks in the fantasy that we create. Behind the scenes, the pressure was suffocating. You see, he was becoming a star real fast. She was becoming an icon even faster. And fame doesn't just elevate people, it distorts them. He started feeling overshadowed in a way that perhaps a little resentment. Now, not intentionally, but definitely emotionally. You see, she was America's sweetheart. He was the rising prince. But the world loves a princess more than a prince. And he felt it. Meanwhile, when she was drowning in expectations to be perfect, pure, polite, grateful, everything to everyone, she didn't have the space to be human. And she didn't have permission to be flawed. And when two people are both suffocating, they don't breathe together. They gasp separately. Arguments started small. Schedules would clash, rumors swirled, and trust began to crack. And the world was watching, waiting, anticipating for the world to break. Now, with this kind of pressure so far, do you have an idea who this mystery couple is? Who went through all the pressures that, yes, they were meeting each other's needs. Yes, they were beyond successful than they ever could have imagined or dreamt. But did success get to them? What happens when you are meeting all your 6 human needs, but in a way where it takes your life into a world of fantasy, where you don't know if you're coming or going? Let's move on. At this point, the breakup was coming, and it would be heard around the world. And when they finally split, it wasn't quiet, it wasn't gentle, and it sure as hell wasn't private. He moved on quickly, or at least publicly. She didn't. She was connected more emotionally. He had to save his face. Being the prince, I can't show weakness. So, at this point, as the narrative shifted, he became the wounded hero, but somehow, some way, she became the villain, not because of truth, but because of storytelling. He had the microphone and she had the silence. So he released a song that painted him as the betrayed lover. The world ate it up. Is this true? They crowned him a victim. They crowned her the problem. And she carried the weight of a story she didn't write. You see, the breakup didn't just end a relationship. It ended her innocence in the public eye. And it launched his solo career into the stratosphere. But here's the part people forget. They were kids. Kids with adult consequences. Kids with global scrutiny. And kids who never got to heal privately. And that wound never fully closed. Years would pass through the aftermath of life. They both changed. They both grew. They both lived entire lives without each other. But the shadow of their relationship would never have left them. It still continued through their spirit and soul. You see, because for her it became a chapter people wouldn't let her escape. And for him, it became a stepping stone he never had to acknowledge. As if it didn't take 2 to tango. As it wasn't his fault at all. But we all know, no matter what in relationships, it takes 2 to tango. They're not always fully one person to blame. There's always some reason or way why we do what we do, where both parties are responsible. And yet, If you look closely at the interviews, their music, their eyes, you can still see the ghost of what they were. Two kids who loved each other, two adults who couldn't survive the world around them. So would there be a great big reveal? Who would this mystery couple be? Have you figured it out? You probably have by now. The golden couple, the mansion denim outfits, the breakup that became a cultural earthquake. This is the story of a relationship that shaped a generation's idea of love and loss. This is the story of Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. Not as headlines, not as gossip, but as two young people who never were ever given the chance to grow without the world watching. So, now let's talk about really what happened here. Not by the tabloid version, but let's see it out there as humans. It's been many years now. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when two people meet and they're young, before their identities are fully formed or established by the world, their bond through their innocence, there's no stability. You see, they fall in love with what they think they are and who they could become. But when fame enters the picture, it doesn't just add pressure, it reshapes the entire relationship. You're actually being run by your agents. You're being run by your fans. You have an expectation. And here's the thing that I always teach my clients. If you want to have a successful relationship, change your expectations into appreciation. Because when you do what others expect you to do, you could expect failure. And that's exactly what was happening. Fame entered and that pressure reshaped it. It felt overshadowed. He felt that way. And she felt controlled, which would be a big point of what comes in her life later through her family. But they were both misunderstood, at least how they felt. And when people feel misunderstood, they don't communicate. They defend. They don't listen. They react. They don't grow together. They grow apart. Their breakup wasn't about betrayal. It wasn't about scandal. It wasn't about who was right or wrong. It was about two young adults trying to navigate adulthood, identity, fame, and love, all at the same time. But here's the cold, hard truth. Whether you take it hot or cold, love can be real and still not be enough. Timing can be perfect and still not be right. And two people can still break each other's heart. That's not failure, even if you want to judge them, even if you want to call her all these names of what she did and how she did it. This is not failure. It's called being human. And that's why their story still resonates even today when people think of them and what they once were or who they were. Because deep down, we all had a love that wasn't built to last. You know that. But it shaped us, didn't it? It shaped us forever. So, if you're from that era, if you're from that time in life, if you're from that age group, when you grew up with Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, or if they're affecting you in some way where you enjoy their music or not, you remember these things. But think about it really not from their perspective and how they had to be or what they've gone through. Here's one for you I want you to think about. Have you ever had friends that have come in between your relationship, even though you really like this person, but you did see flaws and your friends seen it too, but it wasn't enough to destroy the relationship? Or you felt like I wasn't part of a group anymore because now I'm involved and I do love them, but I love this person, but you let them dictate your life only to feel sorry later? Perhaps that's part of the reason as well. The expectations, again, as I said earlier, were so high that even if you met your needs, if you felt a sense of security, they didn't have that in the relationship. And maybe they both didn't appreciate it because one was growing than the other, but they always had security in reference to financial comfort, but not emotional comfort. The variety was changing. He would be on tour here, she would be on tour there. Their lives were dividing. Significance. It was like, rather than having a relationship, it was a competition. And how can you grow with that when you're constantly competing with each other? You're a train wreck waiting to happen. So how can you feel connected so the next thing happens? They don't grow and they don't contribute and they fall apart. And that's what it is. And it's hard. You don't see many celebrity relationships make it in this world for these particular reasons, for these particular outcomes. Because again, who are you involved in? When you look at Justin Timberlake today, who is married to a celebrity, Jessica Biel, here's the thing I look at with that. Okay, Jessica has sat back and not taken many roles in reference to the life of a celebrity. She's actually become a mom with Justin because she feels, from my perspective, that it's easier to balance her life this way. He's the provider. He could be with us. We could be on tour. We could actually have a relationship. Think about that for a moment. The relationships that do work, someone stops what they're doing. Another person, Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. What does she do? She's now mom. And maybe one day she'll start up her career, but in this time, she's able to move forward. I can't mention his name because of HIPAA violations, but I worked with an athlete at the time who played for a baseball team in Chicago. And I used to work with his wife as well. And she said, I won't see you until after the season because I travel with so-and-so. And the reason why is she knew she had to be wife and be part of his life in order for that relationship to flourish. Someone has to lack the alpha. Now, unfortunately, they were both shooting stars at the same time. So there was pressure coming from both ends. How do you depart from that? We're both on our journey. Unfortunately, their journey didn't last the way they wanted to and didn't connect the way they wanted to, and then became apart. So this is their story. This is a story of the rise and fall. The only problem is that one became the prince to king, one became the princess to jester. So Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. Thanks for listening. And once again, please subscribe, comment, share, like, all the above. It goes a long way. And until the next time, have a great day or evening wherever you are.